though, to our daily culture slot, and a new play to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the Battle of Waterloo is set to get its world premiere in London. Miss Wilson's Waterloo is inspired by the relationship between the celebrated courtesan Harriet Wilson and the Iron Duke. The production, written by Ellis Jones and Martin Wimbush, will have two performances at the Finborough Theatre. Martin Wimbush also stars as the Duke of Wellington in the play, and he joins me now. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. Just tell us a bit about Arthur Wellesley, because everyone obviously knows about Waterloo, knows about the fact that you know, we beat Napoleon, that this Duke beat Napoleon for the first time. But just tell us about what kind of a man he was.
I've always been fascinated by the Duke. He's a man of great paradox. A hard man, a soft man, a strong man, a weak man. And that ultimately is what drives drama. I've been doing a one-man show about Wellington for some time, and Ellis Jones and myself felt that it would be interesting to rediscover the play as a two-hander and to bring Harriet Wilson back into the fore so that she comes and introduces herself to the Duke as an old man when he's at Walmer Castle. Yeah. So
we'll talk about Harriet in a bit. We're seeing footage now of you during this play. Yeah. He led the army that defeated Napoleon, of course. Do you think he gets enough recognition for that today?
I think he probably does, and he certainly will in June. There's a big commemoration about Waterloo going on all over the place, in London and also in many parts of the country. And he has a great fan base, a tremendous following. And I really wanted to explore this man in a dramatic way. And the Finborough Theatre gave me this opportunity to explore the play and to redefine the play, and we're only putting it on for a couple of tryout performances next week on Wednesday and Thursday in the afternoon. But the Finborough is such a top-class, high-class fringe theatre that I think it will provide a lot of interest.
And this has been something of a passion and project for you for a while. What is it about Arthur Wellesley that excites you so much, that interests you so much?
As I say, I think he has this extraordinary paradox in his life. And what's interesting is, I could waffle on about Wellington and his history for ages. But say, for instance, you go back to his early life. He was born in Ireland, and he was quite a shy, rather retiring lad. And it was his mother who really got him and got him going. And he had a passion for the violin, played the violin when he was a young boy. But the mother thought this is ridiculous and got him to throw his violin away. And in the play, I have some marvellous original music of a violin played by Benedict Cruft, wonderful violinist, who's created some original music. So you have this theme of the violin going through the play, and that creates a sense of humanity. So I think people will be engaged by the piece as a very tight, introspective piece about this great, extraordinary character. Yeah.
Well, according to the reviews and people who've seen you play the Duke, you do it very, very well, so congratulations for that. But it's recently, obviously, we've got the character Harriet Wilson on board now. Lots of people know about the Duke of Wellington and everything that he did, but maybe not so much about Harriet Wilson. Tell us a bit about her and their relationship.
Well, she became very famous as a courtesan of the period in the 19th century. And, of course, she became even more famous when she wrote these memoirs. And, of course, the Duke became famous for retorting, "Publish and be damned," because, obviously, he was going to be in these memoirs and he wasn't going to pay money to stay out of them.
Now used by journalists across the world.
And so that's where that phrase comes from. And as I say, we thought it'd be fun to have that dramatic license of her coming back into his life when he was an old man at Walmer Castle in Kent. And then she not only plays Harriet Wilson, there's a very good actress called Karen Archer who plays the part, but she not only plays Harriet, but she plays all the different women in his life. So she recreates all these different women because, being a very powerful man, women were attracted to him, he was attracted to them, and he enjoyed the company of women. And we thought it would be an interesting idea to explore his character through the women in his life. And so I think it works very, very dramatically, and it's very, very effective.
And what kind of importance is placed on the historical accuracy? Because obviously he did lead the army to victory at Waterloo, but the Prussians also helped. And is that all sort of mentioned, or is it?
We do have a big sequence at the end where he recreates the battle, and he recreates it in his mind and his imagination. We have some great sound effects, and we really kind of take you into that whole sphere of the battle. So you really become sucked into it, and it becomes really quite a dramatic kind of finale to the piece.
How has it differed? Because you started doing this one-man play, and now you've got, obviously, the person playing Harriet Wilson alongside you. How has that made your project differ to maybe what it was before?
I think it's become a more intimate piece of work because of the relationship that they had. And I think that's interesting that we have introduced a woman into the proceedings, because that kind of mirrors his kind of sensitivity. He was an extraordinarily intuitive and instinctive man who had a very clear idea about how battles would progress, how he would work them, and you know, he was an extraordinary man. Yeah.
And we have got time just to talk about, you've mentioned it a few times, but exactly when and where your performances are taking place. It is obviously the 200th anniversary, around about the time that you're putting it on.
Absolutely, yes.
And just how important do you think it is that people recognise that and obviously come and see your show?
Well, thank you for mentioning that. I think it would be lovely if we could have a good audience next week. It's on a Wednesday and Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock at this very good theatre, Finborough Theatre. It's only a little way from Earl's Court Tube. And we're hoping very much that we will get a good audience, and hoping some, you know, producers and theatre people will come along, and we would very much like to see it progress into a fully fledged production.
Well, best of luck, Martin. Thank you very much for coming in. I'm sure you will get a big audience. It sounds like a really, really interesting and entertaining look at a man who, as you say, is fascinating, and I hope it all goes well. Thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you very much.